WWE is still working towards Survivor Series on November 25th, but last night's show had plenty to keep fans occupied until then. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes were looking to regain the undisputed tag team championships when they challenged Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. We also saw matches such as Ivar versus The Miz, Otis versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Tegan Nox versus Piper Niven. Let's take a look at these contests and everything else that happened on the Red Brand last night, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to a special Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw, still the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are maybe awaiting the presence of the phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness. Apologies for last night. Things came up, circumstances and commitments beyond our control, which is why we had no choice but to postpone last night's show to tonight. So here we are, and let's dive right on into Monday Night Raw as always, as we continue on the road to the 37th annual Survivor Series. Of course, War Games coming back. And this was the penultimate Monday Night Raw before Survivor Series, and and of course this show was live last night from the Capital One Arena in Washington D.C., the home of the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards, of course. And we started it off with an in-ring segment. Cody Rhodes cutting a promo, and he brings out the rest of the War Games team. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. And they got interrupted by their opponents, the Judgment Day and JD McDonough. And then all hell breaks loose. Adam Pearce has another duck, if you will, and just absolutely lost his mind and said, you know what? In the main event tonight, everybody's banned from ringside. No interference. So it was announced that Damian Priest is going to be I guess you could say he's going to be the team captain for Judgment Day, whereas Cody Rhodes is going to be the team captain for the babyface team. So we'll see what happens with that. But Seth freaking Rollins was saying, I'm tired of the games. And you're like, you know what? Sammy and I are dressed to compete. Dominic, you and JD are dressed to compete. Let's have a tag team match. And, well, we got one. We had Seth freaking Rollins and Sami Zayn squaring off against Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. And the winners of the match via disqualification in 10 minutes and 15 seconds, Seth freaking Rollins and Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, and Finn Balor interfering, causing the DQ. All right. A lot to make sense of here, and we're going to do the best we can to do just that. Pretty standard tag match for the story being told. Neither of these duos work as a tag team regularly, but both pairs showed some decent chemistry. Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins did a great job giving the crowd plenty of moments to cheer, and JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio sold all of their offense well. This match will not matter in the grand scheme of things, but it gave the fans a chance to see a couple of WWE's top names do what they do best. The opening segment and match took up a combined 35 minutes at the top of the show. What else is new? When it looked like Rollins was about to win, Rhea Ripley arrived with Finn Balor and Damian Priest to cause a disqualification. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes showed up to turn it into a huge brawl. Raw general manager Adam Pearce flipped out, literally had a duck, and said everyone who is not in the tag title bout later in the show is banned, not only from ringside, but banned from the Capital One Arena altogether. JD McDonough was the only one who didn't get to speak during the opening segment. The Judgment Day's breakup is coming. The way Finn Balor looked at Damian Priest when he claimed to be the leader of the group said it all. the way Seth Rollins dropped Dominic when he hit a suplex counter looked painful. And Dom's use of the pedigree to counter was kind of creative. You know, every right to give it an NA, honest to goodness. You have every right to give this thing an NA. But in this case, I felt it was a decent enough match. So I can give this about 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort. And of course, next Monday night on the Go Home Show in Grand Rapids, Michigan, what's going to happen is we're going to have that legendary War Games Advantage match. Now, we don't know which member of Team Cody or which member of Team Judgment Day will be involved in this Advantage match, but we all know the stakes. Whoever wins that match, that man's team will get the one-man advantage, the power play, as MF would say, if you will. So that advantage match will take place next Monday night on Raw, the Go Home Show in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Van Andel Arena. We don't know exactly who, like I said, we don't know exactly who's going to be in this match, but it'll be interesting to see. And who knows, maybe it'll be Cody's choice, maybe it'll be Damian's choice. I don't know. We'll find out, but oh my. So 3.25 for the match there. So, and a solid opening segment to say the least. So not much more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Crazy way to start it off. I mean, the War Games getting more and more interesting by the week. And we had more chaos and mayhem during this. And we had a solid 3 to 3.25 star match as Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn won via disqualification in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And next week, we're going to have the one-man advantage match. And whoever wins that match, as we all know, gets that power play. So, MF, if you're ready, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on all this.
Yeah, pure chaos at the beginning of the show. There's no doubt about it. And like I said, like you said, Anthony, going into that match next week, it's going to be truly whoever wins this match will get the quote unquote the power play. And that's the most important thing to always have, the man-to-man. It's going into that type of battle, but we'll see how it plays out. But I thought it was really good, and like you said, solid for what it was worth. And really nothing more to add. So Anthony, it is back to you. So solid opener for the Raw.
Absolutely. And then another in-ring segment came out of this. Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark, pretty much to set up their women's world championship match for Survivor Series, obviously. So nothing really, to write home about on that one. Rhea Ripley was still freaking out at Adam Pearce, and she ended up having a brief moment with Zoe Stark that almost turned into a fight, but ended with Mommy retreating. And it led into our next match of the night, which was Shinsuke Nakamura squaring off against Otis. And Shinsuke Nakamura wins the match in roughly 9 minutes. So MF, your thoughts as Shinsuke Nakamura knocks off Otis in roughly 9 minutes?
Yeah, solid match. Could have been better in certain areas, but I won't say that it was anything horrible. I think we were hoping for something. I think what we got is what we were expecting. Otis looked really good. Nakamura, an amazing, just amazing as always. And like I said, it was a solid fight. I think it was better than expected. You could say about maybe 3 stars. I thought, like I said, solid performance. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, solid 3 stars for me as well. Let me see. All right. This match was mostly one-sided and made Otis look like a beast. Judging by how it ended, it looks like Chad Gable will likely have a bout with Nakamura soon, maybe. Even though this wasn't the most exciting performance, it did a good job of making both men look strong. The video package for Nakamura was awesome. It feels like WWE finally knows how to present him as a heel. It's hard to believe Otis and Chad Gable have been aligned for 3 years now. And Otis could have a great run in Japan. His size and athleticism would allow him to fit right in. So we'll see about that. So solid 3 stars there. Next up, it was Tegan Nox squaring off against one half of the women's tag team champions, Piper Niven. Tegan Nox had Natalya in her corner. Piper Niven, of course, with her partner Chelsea Green in her corner. Tegan Nox winning the match, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I'll tell you what, it was a standard powerhouse underdog type of contest. Niven did a good job dominating Nox while Chelsea Green yelled encouragement and instructions from ringside. Natalya and Chelsea ended up getting into a fight at ringside that almost cost Piper Niven the bout. She managed to get her foot on the bottom rope to prevent a pinfall, but Nox pinned her with a crucifix a moment later anyway. The bout was uneventful, and the crowd being so quiet certainly didn't help. So maybe a possible championship committee moment here because of the fact that Tegan Nox pinning Piper Niven. Maybe Tegan and Natalya possibly down the road get a future shot at the women's tag team championships. So probably about 2 stars here. So probably be about 2 to 2.25. So not actually more like 2.25, 2.5 maybe. So don't really need to go further into detail about that unless MF wants to. So but all right. Move on to our next match. All right, we're definitely going to get into this. It was one half of DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, with his partner, Johnny Gargano, in his corner, squaring off against one half of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, with Giovanni Vinci in his corner. Winner of the match, in an even 10 minutes, it was Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig Kaiser winning the match. These two men have had many matches over the years, so they know each other well. They used their chemistry to deliver a solid performance that highlighted their strengths. Even though Vinci was ejected, he showed back up to hit Gargano with a running kick. The distraction allowed Kaiser to roll Ciampa up for the pin. The ending was a bit contrived, but the match as a whole was cromulent. Kaiser does so many little things between each move that add to his performance. Even the way he turns his nose up at the crowd stands out. It may be a simple move, but Imperium's Mr. A+ everything has a really good clothesline. He puts a little something extra on it to make it look more painful. So I'm gonna give this about 3.25 for the effort here. So not much more to say here. MF Ludwig Kaiser knocking off Tommaso Ciampa, even 10 minutes.
Yeah, solid matchup, about a 2.5 to 3 star bout. Like you said, it was all about Ludwig Kaiser just getting the job done. Solid matchup, good battle, but like you said, the little help from Giovanni Vinci made the match a little more better than expected. And at the end of the day, hey, you got the outcome that you were hoping for. You got one who got a big win here, and there's really nothing more for you to say. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
All right. We have another cutout here. The match with Tegan Nox and Piper Niven, that fight of the night. Here comes the worst fight of the night right here. Xia Li squaring off against Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell had Candice LeRae in her corner. It didn't matter. Xia Li won the match via a referee stoppage in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It's obvious this was a showcase for Xia Li. There's nothing else there is to say. Candice LeRae, she did her best to hype up the fans at ringside, but it seemed like most of the people in the arena didn't care about this match, and that had a big impact on the overall presentation. A quiet crowd can destroy the momentum of a bout, and the way it ended did not seem to help. Referees stopped it, called an end to it after he declared Hartwell could no longer compete after taking a kick to the head. The match was short and did little to make either woman look good. However, Becky Lynch showed up looking for revenge. That helped, but this match and segment fell flat. And but there is a silver lining that comes out of this. Next Monday night on Raw, go home show, Grand Rapids, Becky Lynch, Xia Li, one-on-one. Yeah, that's going to be good. There's no question about that. And it's going to be a big week for Xia Li as well. If you didn't see NXT tonight, and we'll elaborate a great deal more on that tomorrow night on Wednesday Night Madness. So we'll explain why it's a big week for Xia Li. Huge, maybe the biggest, no question about it, the biggest week. It's going to be the biggest week of Xia Li's career. You're going up against Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw next week on the Go Home Show for Survivor Series. And then, of course, what's going to happen on NXT next week. That's all I'm saying. So, huge week on hand for Xia Li. All right. By the way, that was about I could probably give this a no rating. No rating for that. All right. So, with that being said, we move on. Next up, it was The Miz squaring off against Ivar, and The Miz winning the match in roughly 10 minutes. So, MF, I don't know if I'm supposed to lead off on this or if it's supposed to go to you.
It's yours.
It is mine. Okay. Well, thanks for keeping an eye on it. All right. Okay. Another 3.25 star bout. To be honest with you, I'll say this. The Miz did a good job playing the underdog against his larger opponent. Whenever he works as a babyface, he incorporates moves he doesn't usually use to get little pops from the crowd. Bronson Reed came out to have a closer look after he got into an argument with Ivar earlier in the show. Made sense from a storyline perspective, but did little to excite the fans at first. The Miz working as a babyface is going to take some time to get used to. So he is not getting universally positive reactions just yet. The action between the ropes was solid and the crowd was getting more into the best. Miz ended up getting the win by using the ropes for leverage. Reed attacked Ivar after it was over and hit the tsunami. And the only notable observation here, the way the Miz was driven into the apron looked painful, but Ivar's low cross body to him afterward looked even worse. This was another 3 to 3.25 star match. No surprise about Miz winning here. You obviously want to make him look like a threat to Gunther, even though, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think Gunther's going to walk out of Survivor Series still the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. So that's just my feeling about it. MF, I'm sure you concur with that. So not much more to say on this for me. This was 3 to 3.25 stars. MF, no surprise about Miz going over. They have to make him look like a threat to Gunther, even though he really isn't.
Yeah, the thing is that obviously you want to do it that way, and it's going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, you said it. It's going to be a tough battle. But you got to make the Miz legitimate. You got to make him a player. So yes, and we'll see how it plays out. So yeah, solid match, 3 stars. It's the right rating for it. And Anthony, back to you.
All right. Then there was a lot of backstage stuff, Imperium stuff. And then there was and then we had a lot of tag teams in the back. And then it was announced that next Monday night on Raw in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the War Games Advantage match for the men's War Games match, Becky Lynch goes one-on-one with Xia Li, and Raquel Rodriguez will go one-on-one with Nia Jax in a Be a Woman fight. But then again, Becky Lynch and Xia Li, that's going to be a Woman fight too. Believe me. So, main event of the evening for the return match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. The champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, defending the titles against the challengers and former champions in their own right, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Winners of the match, 22 minutes and 35 seconds, and still the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, they didn't do it by themselves. They had help. Oh boy, did they have help. Drew McIntyre, Claymore to Jey Uso, and then the visual that we will all remember at the end of last night's show. Probably a handshake that's going to rate right up there with the infamous McMahon-Austin handshake of WrestleMania 17. Rhea Ripley, Drew McIntyre shaking hands. And I've heard rumors that even though it was previously listed, it's originally listed as a 4-on-4 men's War Games match. A rumor going around is that it's going to be a 5-on-5 now. Drew McIntyre is all but locked into the Judgment Day team, cementing and completing the heel turn that's been building and building and building and building for several weeks. We get the payoff last night. And then I remember after Raw last night, after Raw went off the air last night, after it went off the air, Cody Rhodes cut a promo along with Jey Uso. And Cody says, okay, Drew wants to join Judgment Day. That's fine. Jey and I have friends too. And then you heard the chants, Randy. Oh boy, if this is true. I know this guy right here. If I know this guy right here, this guy is gonna mark the F out. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So with all that, MF, what else is there to say? Balor and Priest, still the tag team champions. 22 minutes and 35 seconds. Drew McIntyre, they finally pulled the trigger. He has now joined Team Judgment Day. This ain't going to be 4-on-4. It's going to be 5-on-5. McIntyre rounding out the Judgment Day team, and potentially your boy, after a year and a half on the shelf, could be on his way back to join the Cody team.
Well, okay. I don't know if it's going to be Orton. I would love for it to be Randy. But think about this. Orton had a severe neck injury. Many doctors have been telling Orton that his career is over. Do you think putting him in War Games is really the right idea or the right match? Now, don't get me wrong. He has shown up in the Performance Center. He has been, in Orlando training. But I don't know, guys. I kind of feel like this might be Kevin Owens being the fifth guy. Because think about it. He just got suspended on SmackDown. They have history with Judgment Day. And he is tight with Jey Uso. He is tight with Cody Rhodes. Maybe we might be talking about KO as the fifth guy, Anthony. You don't know that. So I think what we're thinking here might be two totally different things. I know the fans would love to see Randy Orton come out. But here's the thing. Whose side is Orton really on? You know Orton is a Viper. He's not to be trusted. He easily could, I don't know, RKO Cody right out of his own boots. Take him right in Daddy's old structure. So, you don't know. When a guy has voices in his head, it could be a long night for Mr. Rhodes if he doesn't watch himself. You never know. But nah, this is a hell of a main event. This is at least 4.5 stars. Fight of the night. And yeah, it could be Randy, could be KO. I think those are the top two guys right now to be a part of Team Rhodes for Survivor Series. If it is going to be, now that it's probably going to be 5-on-5. So we'll see. So Florio, it's yours.
4.25, 4.5, 100% agree. Fight of the night, far and away. The company gave this bout the final 35 minutes of the show with entrances included. So they had plenty of time to ensure this was the highlight of the night. With this quartet, it's almost a foregone conclusion the match would be good. They are all veterans who have held dozens of titles across multiple promotions, so the main event was in safe hands. The only downside was that the outcome was predictable, but how we got there might have been surprising to some. Drew McIntyre showed up and hit Jey Uso with a Claymore, while the ref was distracted to give the Judgment Day an easy path to victory. The announcers kept avoiding saying how many people would be on each War Games team. It's usually 5, but it feels like maybe WWE might go with 4 this year. Samantha Irvin continues to show why she is the best ring announcer in WWE. She really went for it with the pre-match announcements. Rhea Ripley told Damian Priest he was the leader of the team for War Games, but she clearly still thinks of herself as the overall ruler of the stable. Damian Priest gave JD McDonough a jacket to officially induct him into the Judgment Day before the match. Finn Balor is one of those guys who makes everything look easy. He's one of the smoothest performers on the entire roster. And part of the ring post fell off when Damian Priest threw Cody Rhodes into it. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. Fight of the night, no question about it. All right. I'm going to give this show overall review. I'll start it off. Give this about maybe 7, 7.5. Now, last night's Raw wasn't quite a strong episode, but it did its job of building up most of the feuds that will make up the Survivor Series card. It was nice to see so many different women get the spotlight throughout last night. Even those who weren't in action were given time to speak either in the ring or in backstage segments. Best on this show was the main event. But the opening tag match and Kaiser versus Ciampa were both enjoyable as well. A few interesting possibilities were set up throughout the show, including Drew McIntyre joining the Judgment Day for Survivor Series and a potential Be a Man meet match with Ivar and Bronson Reed. War Games is always a fun stipulation for WWE, so this year's Survivor Series should be a memorable pay-per-view that hopefully includes a few surprises. 7, 7.5 for me. MF, let's get your quick overall review, and then I'll get into my Tony's take here.
About 7. I thought it was a solid show. I thought they did really well. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's all yours.
All right, MF. And with that, we move on to my Tony's take. Of course, we know how that works as always. So we got Impact Wrestling, and we have NXT Level Up. So let's not waste any more time here. Let's dive right on in. Started off with Impact Wrestling from last week. Just bear with me for a moment here as I get everything together here. Okay. From the Cicero Stadium the Cicero Indoor Stadium in Cicero, Illinois. We started it off with a battle of 2 former Knockouts champions. Tasha Steelz squaring off against the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Tasha Steelz wins the match 9 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm not really wild on the whole mirroring each other, but they made it work well enough here. Assuming you ignore that they were a team for a few weeks, pretty good match between 2 of the better stars in the division. At the worst, it's nice to see Steelz getting elevated a bit, especially since Deonna Purrazzo can no longer challenge for the Knockouts Championship for as long as Trinity is the champion. 3 stars for that one. Then we had a Digital Media Championship match. Tommy Dreamer defending against Crazy Steve. And Crazy Steve wins the match via disqualification, 7 minutes and 15 seconds. So, you know the rules. Crazy Steve wins the match, but he does not win the Digital Media Championship. At least Dreamer didn't win. I mean, I would hope that we are going to be seeing a rematch where Steve wins the title, as there is no reason for Dreamer to be a long-term champion. Dreamer going violent to even things up is fine, but he needs to drop the title to Crazy Steve, who is doing some good stuff right now. Give it about 2.5 stars for that effort. Joe Henry squaring off against Brian Myers. And Brian Myers wins the match in 17 minutes and 1 second. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I mean, these two were getting going at the end, and it was working out when they went to the eye rake. Henry losing again isn't great to see, but what matters is getting him in the ring for a good while. That being said, putting Myers over Henry is a little weird to see, as Henry has long since felt like a potential breakout star. Eddie Edwards, earlier we had a battle of former knockout champions. How about a battle of two former world heavyweight champions? Eddie Edwards squaring off against Eric Young. Eric Young winning the match 6 minutes and 42 seconds. 2.5 stars. It didn't have nearly enough time for it to go anywhere, which is a bit annoying, as these two are big enough stars to be able to do something. At the same time, Alicia screwing up isn't going to go well, and we might be in for a little something there. For now, though, Young getting a win is not a surprise, even if it's been done to death. Dirty Dango teaming up with Oleg Prudius. Now, you're wondering, who's Oleg Prudius? I think you remember this guy from a number of years ago in WWE. Vladimir Kozlov. Yeah, Oleg Prudius is his real name. So Dirty Dango and Oleg Prudius against Nick Diamond and Storm Grayson. Of course, Dango and Prudius in 238. Obviously, it was a showcase for them. Main event of the evening. Impact World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Alex Shelley, defending the title against former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Jonathan Gresham. Winner of the match, 24 minutes, 46 seconds, and still the World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley. 4.5 stars, fight of the night. Hell of a TV main event, as they had a good story going with the arm versus leg battle. Gresham is someone who can wrestle with anyone and knows how to pick apart a limb. At the same time, you have Alex Shelley, who is on an absolute roll right now, giving us an awesome match between two of the better stars Impact has to offer today. 7.5 out of 10. Main event was rather good, and the rest of the show backed it up well enough. While they didn't do a lot for Hard to Kill, the two main singles title matches are already set, so things could be a good bit worse. They set up a few things for next week, though, and I'll take some small development over none at all. Good show here, with the main event being by far the best thing. And let me set the table for, and I'm going to set the table for tomorrow night. Just excuse me for one moment here. Okay. Just got to get in here and find this. Bear with me for a moment here. Yep, I'm getting a lot of pop-up videos and ads. Okay. We got a big show. We have a big show for this Impact Wrestling show. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Access TV, 8:30 p.m. For those of you who have the YouTube membership. And, of course, it'll be uploaded to Impact Plus, like, at the end of the night or so. A 6-man tag team match. The Rascals, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed squaring off against the Laredo Kid, Black Taurus, and the legendary Juventud Guerrera. Yes. Knockouts champion Trinity in a non-title match squaring off against Sunny Kiss. Impact World Tag Team Championships on the line. Ace Austin and Chris Bay to defend against Kenny King and Sheldon Jean. MF, wait till you hear this main event. I don't know if you heard about this main event, but if you haven't before, you're going to hear it now. Wait until you hear This is one of the biggest main events in the history of Impact Wrestling. And it's not even a World Heavyweight Championship match. Go figure. The walking weapon, Josh Alexander, is going to go one-on-one with Will Ospreay. Are you kidding me? Josh Alexander and Will Ospreay Thursday night on Impact Wrestling. You better tune into this. That's all I'm going to say. So that's the story for Thursday night. Thursday night, check it out. It's going to be something else, as MF and Gorilla would say. So there isn't anything else left to say. There's only one other order of business here, and that is, of course, NXT Level Up. And let's dive on into that. Gigi Dolan went one-on-one with Stevie Turner. Gigi Dolan wins the match, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. It was fine. Crowd likes Gigi, and I want to see more on this show from Stevie Turner. 1.5 stars. We had Wolfgang and Mark Coffey of Gallus. They went up against Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe. Gallus wins the match, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. The winner was in little doubt, as there is no need yet for DuPont and Igwe to beat former tag team champions. The match, much like the opener, was okay. They hit each other hard, and it was fine. 1 3/4 star. 5 out of 10. As always, it's an easy watch. Nothing must see, as it was just kind of there. And we are back to the 2-match format. We'll see how long it lasts this time around. So that's a 5 out of 10. And with that will put the bow on this special Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. We will be back with you tomorrow night, 10 p.m., over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95. Wednesday Night Madness. We got a big show. We got NXT. We got AEW Dynamite. We got to preview the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view because it comes up this Saturday night. And then we will have a preview of what I believe will be a very exciting Thursday night football game. It's not often we get them, but we got one this time around. Oh, we got a big one. Huge game in the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll get into that tomorrow night. Thursday night, also at 10 p.m., right back here on the Tone 25. We got the Week 12 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. What I'm calling calm before the storm week. I mean, we do have a few. We got a couple of good games here and there. Not many exciting games, to be honest with you. A lot of the power teams are going to be going up against, dud enhancement cupcake teams, but we're going to address it anyway. There are a few good games. I mean, I know Georgia and Tennessee are squaring off. That's a good matchup. Louisville against Miami. I know that's another one. And we'll get into the rest of the slate. And then Friday night, 10 p.m., Tone 25, Week 11 edition of NFL Friday. As we will recap the Bengal-Raven game, get into the rest of the slate, including what I believe is going to be the most anticipated Monday Night Football game, maybe in the 53-year history of Monday Night Football. A rematch of Super Bowl 57, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, yes, we are cross-flexing. Hell yeah, we're cross-flexing. The game of the week. Hell, this is the game of the year at this point right now. So we're going to get into that. There's some other good games as well. We got a few other good games as well, but that's the big one right there, Friday night. I'm not sure if we're going to have a show Saturday night because of the fact that it's going to be the Full Gear pay-per-view. We'll get back to you folks and let you know what's going on after Friday night. So MF and I know we're going to put our heads together and come up with something regarding that. And as soon as we do, we'll let you fine folks know so you can tune in. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw the Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Wednesday. And until tomorrow night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching this special Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. for everybody who has been a part of this one. For now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.